Sales is sales. Now, I know you clicked in this video because that title sounds like I've had a brain aneurysm or something like that, but stick with me here. This video is really important to watch if you're a beginner or even if you're experienced, because just tying back to my previous video talking about how holistically everything is important: networking, personal branding, objection handling, sales skills, there's all important, right? The thing I want you to get and understand is I got a question from a prospect just today who was very concerned about the whole idea of how vetted or how quality our sales training is. I'm going to break the value for you right here and now. Someone's quality of sales training isn't going to be really that different from the next guy. You have to understand that sales is literally just sales. No matter which way you try to cut it from a different cloth, you try to say things differently, at the end of the day, maybe some things are going to be slightly different from the next guy, but I can assure you, most sales that is taught this day and age just works just fine. Some processes are more efficient than others, but I can assure you, this guy and this guy are probably going to be teaching the same thing. And I kind of want to give you the answer that I gave this gentleman I was on a call with today, because I think a lot of people will resonate with this. A lot of people, when they're looking to get into high ticket sales, beginner training programs to transition into this industry, are thinking, oh, what's the script I'm going to get? What's the amazing objection handle that I'm going to get? This, that, and the thing. If the person has even a slight bit of experience, they're mostly just copied it from someone else, right? They've learned from somebody else. I've learned from somebody else. I've had mentors I've learned sales from. I did not create sales, right? I'm not the best sales trainer on the planet. I'm not claiming to be, but a lot of people are. And I'm here to tell you that sales training is going to be very similar and the same to the next guy. And I'm referring specifically towards information. The information that you're going to get in any course or any training program is going to be somewhat similar and the same. The main thing that you're paying for when you're looking at differences between different coaching programs, whether it's the RSA, so my training program, or really anyone else, is the person that is behind it. Do you trust them? Do they think they can coach you and make the tweaks and adjustments you need to make? Because that is where the true value lies. A lot of people mistake it, especially new people, beginners, first dollars online, these types of things. And I understand that because that's how I thought. I thought it was just a 10-minute snippet in a call recording or 5 minutes of this video, then I'm going to crack sales. I'm going to make all this money, right? I'm here to tell you it's all the same, right? It's all very similar and the same. I've been creating some new training for a new community that I'm a part of now, and I guess a course I've been building for them, a mini course. And I was explaining throughout the whole course where I was talking about sales training, the differences is that every sales process, the way that you make a sale, is always going to be somewhat similar the same, right? You have the start of the call, you have the opening of the call, you have their current situation, what they're currently doing to solve the problem. You have the pain, you have the problem, you have, again, the third phase where it's called problem awareness, or it's called pain, or problem probe, or roadblock, or challenge, right? Or problem phase, right? There's so many different names that a lot of people have, I guess, across the board to confuse you. But after doing and spending so much money on coaching and sales training, I can tell you that it's pretty much all well the same. And there's going to be no secret script. There's no secret formula. There's no 10 minutes of sales training that you're going to watch and then instantly you're going to get it, right? And this is kind of bridging to my last point here, is that with sales, the really important thing you have to understand, again, there is no shortcut. There is no cheat. There is no step-by-step road plan. There's no blueprint, right? That's going to allow you to just magically figure out sales overnight. A lot of new people, a lot of beginners, again, get marketed this idea that they're going to be a, sales connoisseur within the next couple weeks and 30 and 60 days. I can assure you, I think I'm pretty good at sales. I'm not amazing. I'm not exceptional. I think I'm pretty good. A lot of people like to tell me I'm great, but I think I'm okay, right? And I think a lot of people really overestimate their competence in towards a skill. A lot of people believe that when they're marketed this idea that they're the best, right? Even some of my mentors who, again, I believe is some of the best sales training you can get in the world right now in the market, even he says, I'm still learning. Sales is an infinite game that you're going to continuously learn to get better at. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner that you realize that sales is not some cheap shortcut hack that you can make money online with, the better. Because a lot of people I see beginners, and this is, I know the exact process, this thinking, because this is exactly how I viewed sales when I first got started in it 5 years ago. Again, I was just looking for the secret hack, the cheat sheet, the magical script. None of that's going to matter. The only two things is going to matter is frequency of conversation and time, right? How many calls have you had? How many people have you spoken to? A really big misconception I'm seeing a lot in the space right now from what I've seen across the board is if I just get good at objection handling, if I just get good at sales skills, I'll just get any job that I want. It's not how it works, right? And also, your practice is going to make you good, but what's really going to make you good is real-time live experience with sales prospects, right? You can role play, you can train with your coaches, just like I do with all my students inside my program, but nothing is going to prepare you for when you are sitting there in front of a prospect live, let's say it's on Zoom as well, which is typically in high ticket sales, the way things are done. You are there with you and your script, and you have no one there to save you, right? I think a lot of people really struggle with coming to terms with this truth, but this is exactly how it is, and this is exactly how it plays out. You can get a mentor, you can get a coach, you can work with guys like me, but I can assure you, the moment you get on that call, it is you, yourself, alone with your thoughts and your skill level. And the only way that you're going to get better is by confronting the very hard truth that it will just inevitably take time. But a really, really, really big thing that a lot of beginners I see struggle with, and I did myself when I got in this industry, is believing again. It's the script, it's the 10 minutes I'm going to see, it's the magical call recording, it's the one thing that's going to save me, it's going to save my grace of my fall. I'm telling you, the real ugly and hard truth of it is it's going to take time to develop and learn a new skill. I know, crazy, but just with any skill, just if I was to go and try and learn how to, I don't know, let's say just simple example, play guitar. I'm not just going to pick up the guitar tomorrow and be an expert within a couple weeks. Just not how it works. And with sales, again, to kind of retie to that point, it is truly an infinite game. It is constantly developing. It is evolving. I, to this very day, still learn so much about sales, right? And this is after thousands of sales calls and interactions and training and practicing, objections, role play, blah, 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 whatever, right? Just understand that it's actually going to take time to get good at this, as opposed to what a lot of people tell you, again, what I like to call as marketers, say this, that, the other thing, this special thing, whatever, right? Do this without that, right? This is what we hear all the time. Get this without that. Hit 10K a month without having to do this, right? In the fastest amount of time possible. Understand this is what you're being marketed to. This is what marketers do. I'm here to tell you this will take time. But there's a big but to this. If you are willing to commit to the skill of sales and do it for a 6 months to a year time frame, and you are head down, ass up, obsessed with this skill, I guarantee you, this is one thing I will guarantee you, 6 months to a year, you will never have to worry about money ever again. Really, honestly, and truly. And I know this is kind of a bit off topic, but I think it's important. If you are watching this video and you have had points where you have struggled for money, you've stressed about how you're going to pay your bills next week, if you get good at this skill, you're never going to have to worry about it ever again, because you can literally spawn money into thin air. Most people stop when it gets hard when it comes to sales. And that's why most people aren't successful, especially within sales. They don't invest in their education. They don't learn to get more skills, right? Particularly high ticket sales as well. They go through, they come across their first challenge and they go, hey, this is too hard, I give up, right? It took me 8 months to get my first job in this industry. 8 months. Most of my students on average, we see about 3 to 4 weeks. Do you know how insane that is? It is absolutely crazy, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is to kind of tie the video off here is that, again, if you commit to this skill for the next 6 months to a year, you really will have to never worry about where your next dollar comes from again. The other thing as well is all sales training is the same. No matter which way you cut it, it's always going to be somewhat similar. This guy says a slight different variation of this. It's all pretty much the same, right, at the end of the day, right? Don't get distracted about all these different things of this magical script or whatever it is. And then finally, time takes time, right? It's the ugly truth, but that's really what is required to get good at anything in life, as I'm sure you're probably aware of. Even if you're young, if you're 18, 19, 20, you should know this by now. It takes time to get good at something, and nothing great comes from lack of sacrifice or lack of effort. So that's it for me, guys. Hopefully you're having an amazing week, an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.